Good evening, everyone. I hope you all are doing very well during these testing times. It is my pleasure to invite you all to the Dais Global Yoga Festival in association with the Yoga Mission and Yogis Without Borders from the 26th to the 28th of January 2020, celebrating the International Day of Education during the Learning Plan Festival. Join us as we bring to you interactive workshops, learning opportunities, and practicing yoga together. We also would like to wish everyone a happy Republic Day from all of us in India. Now, to begin with this session, we will introduce our organization, the Dais. The Dais is an organization with the vision to empower people towards a better life. The achievement of SDGs and leaving no one behind are the core objectives of the Dais, with a focus on environmental preservation, ensuring equality for all, improved education for children and the youth, and creating a peaceful and prosperous world. The Learning Plan Festival requires no introduction. The Learning Plan Festival was launched in 2020 by CRI France, the Center for Research and Interdisciplinarity, along with the UNESCO. The festival is open to passionate learners of all ages. This is the third edition of the Learning Plan Festival, which celebrates the International Day of Education on the 24th of January. Featuring 400 plus local events and online activities co-organized with over 200 partner organizations from around the world, this festival is an open platform of workshops, debates, forums, and other events dedicated to celebrating new ways of learning and teaching. Now, allow me to introduce our partners for the Yoga Festival, Yogis Without Borders and the Yoga Mission. Yogis Without Borders is an international team of experts spreading the knowledge and practice of yoga tradition to anyone interested to transform their lives through its methods. Yoga has always been a teaching that moved its practitioners and everybody it touches to go beyond the boundaries humanity and human beings have made for itself. Yoga has always been a teaching of constant transformation and evolution. It constantly changed itself and taught others to evolve. Yogis Without Borders unite yoga teachers and students from around the world for the sake of promoting old and developing new ideas for yoga. Now, the Yoga Mission. The Yoga Mission is an international charitable organization involved with the residential and non-residential schools and women's projects, particularly in Varanasi, India, along with the International Chandramouli Charitable Trust that provides free education to over 475 underprivileged women and children. Through incorporating Brahmashri School of Yoga, we teach authentic yoga and philosophy courses, as well as supporting subjects globally. Ancient education was very different from modern education system. In ancient times, Rishi aesthetics brought students out of individualism, irrespective of caste, creed, gender, or color, to realize the existing unity behind diversity. Yoga was the means to achieve that objective. The ancient education system was for eternal, everlasting peace of mind, which consequently manifested infinite peace. We are committed to bringing these life skills alongside the best education being available to all without discrimination. Now, I have the greatest pleasure and honor in introducing to you all our speaker and moderator for the evening, Divya Prabha ji. Divya ji has devoted all her life towards yoga. She graduated from Oxford University, UK with a master's with honors in metallurgy and the sciences of materials, and started an illustrious career with the top UK and American investment banks. Following several life-changing experiences, she left all this behind, embarking on her spiritual journey with Brahmrishi Vishwatama Bhavaraji. She is traditionally trained and guided in Mahayoga, Hatha, Mantra, Laya, and Raja Yoga, as well as having had a traditional Sanskrit education in Varanasi for the last 14 years, winning the gold medal for Shastri course and coming top of a university class during further studies in Prachin Vyakaran on the Acharya course. She has broadcasted several lectures and has taken part in discussions on the radio and continues to teach in India as well as internationally. Over to you, Mataji.
Thank you so much to our great friends and partners in this wonderful Learning Planet Festival. It's a great pleasure to be with you. If you're in Europe this afternoon, if you're in the USA, if you're joining us there this morning. One of the important things about connecting yoga in this festival is not just wellness, but that yoga is a very important part of education. It creates a foundation for us in life with giving us life skills, tools to be able to connect to ourselves, to create a stable foundation for us to be able to imbibe education. Education is coming from two Latin words, educare and educere, And the first we understand as education, putting knowledge in, and we get that knowledge, we take it in, we study it, and we bring it back out. But the main one that has been in the ancient education systems, not just 500 years old, but thousands and thousands and thousands of years old in the area of India, where education was about bringing out, about knowing yourself, being able to know yourself, enabling you to understand everybody else. Because once you are aware of how you work, how your individual mind works, and how your ego works and your intellect works, then we can have a better understanding of how everybody else works as well. And so that's really what we're here. We've got a short introduction about the foundation of yoga, and then we're going to go into some real practices, which will be demonstrated with my friend Esther, who's joining us from the Netherlands today. So why don't we start first with the little presentation that I put together for you. One second. One moment, let me just get that slideshow correct. There we go. So these are some of our young children studying in Varanasi that coming from underprivileged backgrounds, sometimes orphaned. For instance, two of these children that we can see straight away have lost their parents. And we're teaching yoga as a foundation for life, as a way of living, how to be connected with your real self, how to have a stable foundation. And this is not something new. This is ancient knowledge, thousands and thousands of years old. But yet every time we go into a yoga class, it's like something new and fresh that's just been invented. And that is the incredible enduring power of this knowledge to, in every generation, give us the tools to be able to find inner peace, because that's really what everybody's looking for. And the very vibrations of the sounds of the word like yoga is coming from the Sanskrit, meaning yujang samado, yujir yoge. The first samadhi meaning is stable intellect, stable wisdom. And sometimes it's very easy to get confused about what yoga actually is. And the practice of yoga on the physical and the subtle level, on the inner level, they inculate this experience and manifest this deep sense of inner peace, which is what we all want. And Yujir Yoga is the other meaning to join. Join to what? Joining to ourselves. So the practices of yoga ultimately give us health, giving us stability, giving us mental health, and also ultimately giving that sense of unlimitedness, unlimited possibilities, the capacity to be able to be anything that we want, and to do anything that we feel like we would like to do. And that comes from that connection for ourselves, that intuition giving us the inner guidance. And by being well practiced in yoga, we become efficient in action. Yoga karma sukho shalam. Yoga in the Gita is said to be perfection in action. And so it's like being able to be more efficient by being able to be one pointed. All our energy is directed at that one point, being able to use our energy to the best of our abilities. And another definition of yoga, which is less known but is part of Patanjali yoga philosophy, Tadadrastu Swarupe Avastanam. So upon achieving the condition of yoga, samadhi, stable intellect, stable wisdom, you're able to be abiding in your own form. It means that you are integrated from within. Your individuality is connected to that universal form of existence. Instead of having this internal battle all of the time of to do, to not to do, to go, to not to go. And we lose a lot of energy in that indecision and in that inner battle, which is the cause of a lot of mental unsettlement, but also physical. So it's about bringing peace into our present. And if we don't have it in our present, we can't have it in the future. And if we don't take care of any present, that every moment becomes our past. And so our present is a consequence of our past, and the future is a consequence of our present. So that's also something that people talk a lot about in yoga, is about being in the moment, being in the present, and allowing ourselves to have the flexibility to be able to deal with every situation that comes in the moment. So using our present to the best of our ability, using every breath, every divine gift of breath that we get to the best of our ability. And one other thing is that we find in life is that the struggles that we face in life, the pain, you can say, can be classified into three parts in yoga. One is the individual level of pain. The second is the collective pain. For instance, if there's an earthquake that destroys everybody and everything in its path. And the third is the spiritual pain. And that spiritual pain is that sense of emptiness and separation from our real selves. And when we connect to our real selves, we get that sense of fulfillment within, because any sense of fulfillment that we get externally, coming through the external objects of the senses, is always destined to be temporary, because the nature of nature is change. And so when we're relying on changeable things, then we can't experience permanent peace, permanent happiness. And that really is something that's in us that we can connect to no matter what. And yoga are the tools, the life skills to help manifest that for us in every moment. And we've mentioned previously that there are 5 kinds of modifications of the mind, which can be painful, not painful. And yoga is a means of going beyond them, and how there's 7 stages of downfall, going from concentrating on the external objects, becoming attached to those, having desire for those, and the anger that comes even when they're fulfilled from that, which leads to delusion, that leads to forgetting who we are, that leads to the destruction of our intellect, and which leads to the total destruction of us. And ultimately, that you may be aware that this is exactly what's taught in karate and judo, that the teacher, the first lesson that they teach is never to lose your temper, because losing your temper basically means that you forget who you are and you're no longer able to make decisions in your best interests, to make calm and collected decisions. So always, when you spot that you are getting over anxious, or you're getting into a situation that you could lose your temper, take a step back, take control of your breath, take a deep breath, and try to reset yourself just by bringing your breath back under control. So what is the ultimate cause of these 3 kinds of pain? Drishta drishyayoho sanyogo heya hetu. Meaning the contact of the watcher with the objects of the senses is what's causing us pain, because we become deluded by these temporary objects of the senses, which can never, because they're temporary, can never give us permanent peace. We need to connect to something that's permanent. And that's the thing that's within us. And that is what is called avidya, where the opposite of knowledge, when we don't know what we really are. And that's what causes us so much internal stress. So how can we get free of these? We can, as I mentioned, we can practice yoga. We can practice asanas, getting a stable base. We can practice pranayama, and we can practice meditation, giving us that internal connection and that ability to focus in life on what's important. And the Upanishads, which are written many, many, many thousands of years ago, have incredible wisdom to share with us. It said, Indriyanam pratak bhavam udayastamayo cha yat pratak utpadmayananam matvadiro nasachati. So it says, when the stable-minded person understands that the senses come from out of the objects, and so they're coming in and out, connecting to those objects as the senses. And when you can learn, when you realize that this is a process that you can control, like a tortoise controls their limbs, taking them in and out of their shell, in the same way, we can take control of our senses, then that person doesn't grieve. So we have yoga and Sankhya as these tools to give us the ability to find that stable intellect, that stable wisdom, that place where we're calm, quiet, peaceful, and connected within, no matter what, like a tree that is being shaken by a storm, but remains rooted in the ground, and after the storm passes, returns back to their original form. So this is a very simple practices, and we're going to do some practices today to get us through the postures, a little bit of pranayama and some meditation as well. So, and a posture isn't about how much you can bend your body, but it's about doing as much as you can of any posture. And it's a stable base that is comfort giving, both physically and mentally. And when we have that, then we're able to do pranayama. So we'll be looking at a few simple postures today. Sarvangasana is a really great posture to mention, because it literally means all limbs. And if you do it for just 4 minutes, it's been found that it gives you the same benefit as a 4-kilometer walk, which is said to have a great benefit on our endocrine system, bringing balance to the lymphatic system, very helpful for the thyroid, getting blood into the brain, so bringing us some calmness as well. And also heals digestion by inverting the stomach upside down, giving the stomach a bit of a rest. So we'll be looking at some of these postures as well. So each asana has a profound effect. You can just make any one of these asanas to the best of your ability, and it will have an incredible effect, not just on your physical health, but your mental as well. Vajrasana, sometimes known as child's pose, makes your body as strong as a thunderbolt. Really great for any people that spend a lot of time at the computer. Inverting the back like this, you are getting the flow of blood washing through the shoulders and the cervical region, the neck region, that if it's practiced regularly, it can really cure terrible neck and back pain that comes from crouching over computers, which is such a problem these days. And Mayurasana, I don't know if you've practiced Mayurasana before, known as peacock pose. The reason it's called peacock pose is a perfect example why every asana has real meaning in its name. Peacocks eat snakes. That means they digest poison. And this asana also has the capacity to digest physical and mental poisons, means impurities in the system. Maybe there's some illness or depression or some worries or just normal anxiety. So this asana can help us heal the body, whether it's the digestive system or pains in the legs or headaches, whatever it might be. It also has the capacity to bring us peace on a mental level as well. And you'd be surprised to know that this asana, Matsyasana, which is fish pose, is called fish because with some special breathing techniques, pranayama, you can actually float on water safely in this posture, hence it being called the fish pose. But also it has an incredible effect on the system. You can see that this young guy here is sitting in the lotus pose, which makes the brain beautiful and the mind beautiful and intellect beautiful like a lotus flower. But if this is difficult, you can also stretch your legs out straight. And the other thing that's very important about this is the touching of the head on the ground is unraveling all the tightness in the spine, and also stimulating the top of the head. So in the head, we've got the pituitary and the pineal gland. So this is also stimulating that gland right on the top of the brain there. So very useful asana, and you can start, beginners can start like this, stretching the legs out. We're giving you all of this information so that if you go back through the videos, you can slow it down a little bit and take in some more information. Some classic easy poses for people to do, like Bhujangasana, snake pose here, keeping the heels together. It's one of the best asanas you can do if you suffer from back pain, because it's putting a little bit of pressure on the lower spine, and you never want to raise your head up more than you want to keep the heels together. So you only raise up your head as much as you can keep the heels together. Pawan Muktasana, which tells you exactly what it means, which means freedom from wind. So rocking on your back here, rubbing your stomach with your thighs and bringing your knees to the chest is relieving a lot of wind in the system. Dhanurasana, meaning bow, opens out all the stomach organs, your liver, your pancreas, your spleen and everything, so they can get a good massage on the ground. And Yoga Shavasana here, which is often practiced in Yoga Nidra, something that you can use at the end of your practice, in the middle of your practice to take a little bit of rest, but also you can use to take you into sleep at nighttime, giving you a very restorative sleep. So those are the practices before we go on to breathing exercises. And breathing exercises are basically about having a stable base, getting the balance in your inhalation, exhalation between the left and the right nostril through different breathing techniques. We'll try one very simple one today. And then we have lots of pranayama like Anulom, Vilom, Kapalbhati, Bhastrika, Shikli. And these will all be in depth described in our session on the 28th morning at 8 a.m. CET. That is 12:30 Indian time. So look forward to seeing some of you in the pranayama session. And that takes us on to meditation, because from pranayama, then we have pratyahara, where we have control of the limbs, where that tortoise is able to bring the limbs in and out. And in the same way, we can control our senses, enabling us to sit down. We can then concentrate on a point. We can repeatedly concentrate on that point. And that allows us to become absorbed in to that object and be aware of its real meaning, and be having that level of consciousness of that stable intellect, that stability, unshakable stability that comes within. So basically, meditation is yoga. All of these steps are leading up to us getting that stable wisdom, that ability to be aware of everything in its real sense. And we can concentrate on just the letters of our mantra. If that's easy, then we can concentrate on the sound of the mantra with those letters. And if that's easy, we can concentrate on the mantra with its meaning as well. So these are different levels of meditation. And the important thing about yoga is that it's for everybody, no matter how little or how much experience. The extraordinary thing about yoga is it's equally enjoyable, equally blissful for everybody. And we've seen with like cortisol stress tests that whether you're doing postures, whether you're doing pranayama, breathing exercises, or doing meditation or chanting mantras, all people experience a reduction in their stress levels. That's how magical this process of yoga is. And so a very common mantra to use in meditation, which we'll be using today, is Om, which we will describe a little bit more when we come to meditation in about 20 minutes or so. We're going to start off with some practices, but I just want to remind you that when we talk about food and we're talking about eating well to give us good mental health, for example, and good physical health, food is not just what we place in our stomachs. Food is what we see. Food is what we hear. Everything that's coming into us as information through our sense organs is food. What we smell, what we say, what we think. These are all senses, are all objects of the senses and are food for us. And so we want to take care, if we want to maintain peace in our life, to use our discrimination to choose what goes in, what we listen to, what we watch, what conversations we engage in, so that they're beneficial for our stability and our journey in yoga. And yoga is such a thing, is that, you know, we talk about getting up every morning and having a shower. But I wonder how many of you have thought about getting up, having a shower, and then washing their mind. Understand yoga practice is a tool to wash your mind and your body as well, bringing you like a new day every day to start afresh, to take yourself to be the best version of yourself in every moment, in every day. And so that's what we are doing with yoga, allowing ourselves to become more conscious about every moment of our daily routines and connecting our daily life to our inner life. Because when they are disconnected, then we struggle within. That doesn't mean that you have to become like a hermit and you only do yoga all day, but it means that when you are preparing food, have a positive frame of mind in that food. If you've got a mantra, use your mantra whilst you're making that food. When you're walking, be conscious of what you're thinking about. Is it something troubling? Is it something you can solve? Is it something that helps you? Because every moment is a moment that has passed. So if we can use every moment to our betterment, to our upliftment in the sense of closer to that integration with our real selves, then we are on a great track to have peace established in our real selves, be aware in awareness, be connected to our intuition, and to be aware of our real selves and our place in society, our role in society, and how we can make a society a better place, the world a better place for everybody to live in, using our skills and our tools from a stable intellect. So let's have a little bit of practice. I don't know, you're free to bring your screens on if you'd like to, but I'm quite happy if you want to keep your screens off. I'd like to introduce you to Esther Riersma here, and I apologize for the pronunciation. Esther has been associated with our teachers in our organization, the Brahmarishi School of Yoga, and people who have been trained by the same teacher that I have for many years, and she's teaching in Holland herself. So I hope that you enjoy her demonstrations. So we're going to start off with a little bit of a warm-up. So if you'd like to come to the standing position and start with rotating the right arm, opening your legs a little bit. If you have any shoulder injuries, you can bend your arm, so just having the hands on the shoulders. And remember, yoga is always, it's not about how much you can do, but by doing what is appropriate for your body, for your physique. Because yoga is for everybody, and it's about finding the practice that's good for us. There's one mountain, many ways up that mountain. And if you'd like to rotate the left hand, so see that she goes backwards and then she goes forwards, rotating around the shoulder cuff. And as I mentioned before, if you have any injuries in your shoulders or in your arms, you can just keep your hands on your shoulders, rotating your shoulders around that axle. And when that feels nice and loose, you can then we're going to stretch our neck. Now, we particularly advise people never, ever, ever to roll the neck round and round. We go forwards, inhaling, coming up, going backwards, coming back to the center, and exhaling, bringing the head down on the right shoulder. Inhaling, coming up, and exhaling down on the left shoulder. So far, everything that we're doing is also good for anybody sitting in a chair as well. Some people these days call and say they teach chair yoga. Inhaling, coming up, exhaling, going forward. Inhaling, coming up, exhaling, going backwards. Inhaling, coming to center, exhaling down on the right. Inhaling, coming up, exhaling on the left. Inhaling, coming up, exhaling forwards. Exhaling back. Inhaling, coming up, exhaling down on the right. Inhaling, coming up, and exhaling down on the left. And inhaling, coming up. And now we can rotate the hips. So bring your hands on your hips and make nice big circles with your hips moving forward and round back, really stretching out the whole, all of the muscles connected to the hips and the upper thighs. We can go 3 times clockwise and then 3 times anti-clockwise. And now we can then rotate the knees in the same way. So I have a 3 times clockwise and 3 times anti-clockwise. We're just having a very gentle warm up. I'm going to have very gentle asanas today. And then rotating the right ankle. So lifting up the right foot. We want to, and it's okay, even if you just want to lift the foot up just a few centimeters from the ground, that's fine also. Depends on what your physical ability is. And rotating that anti-clockwise and clockwise. And then on the left foot. And if you do want to turn on your camera, please don't be shy. It doesn't go in the live feed. Only the spotlighted ones go in the live feed. So you won't be on display to everybody. And now we're ready to start with a gentle stretch up with tree pose, Tadasana. So if you'd like to join your hands and inhale, coming up, stretching up on your toes, joining your hands over the head with the thumbs like this. And then as you exhale, coming down, bringing the hands down gently in front of you. And inhale, coming up. Take your inhaling, filling those lungs, keeping your focus on the point in front of you so that you can maintain your balance. That one-pointedness is key to get us able to concentrate in meditation on one point. And exhale, coming down. And inhale, coming up. Inhale up. Right onto the tiptoes, keeping your focus in front. Choose a point in front of you, on the wall in front of you somewhere, that you can keep your constant attention on that point. And exhale, coming down. And now opening the legs wide. We're going to do Trikonasana. There are lots of variations of these, so don't feel that this isn't the way that you were taught. It might be, it might not be. Look, even Surya Namaskar has many variations across the world, because yoga is so many thousands of years old that there are different areas with different traditions that have been passed down, and that doesn't matter. Every path is right for whatever path you're on. So don't worry about the perfection according to being different from what we're sharing here. Whatever you're comfortable, you can keep going with that. So opening the hands wide, you want to keep your feet pointing straight and exhale down on the right, looking up at the left hand. See how the head twists as you reach the vertical position for your arms. Twisting the head to look towards the hand facing towards you in your left hand. So the palm is straight like this, and you're looking in the palm of your hand, straight above you. And then inhaling, coming up to the horizontal, and exhaling on the left. So in this asana, you want to be looking up, and depending on what your physical flexibility is, your hand can go all the way down to the ground, but it may only just reach up to just past the hips. Whatever is comfortable for you is about finding the right position for you, the right level of stretch, because we don't want to do so much today that we can't do anything tomorrow. Inhaling, coming up, and exhale on the right. Inhale coming up. And exhale on the left. Great, Raghav. Looking up at the top hand, Raghav. Excellent. And inhale coming up. We're going to do some very simple postures on the floor now. So if you'd like to come into the sitting position, sitting with your legs out straight, we're going to do Paschimottanasana. This is a great all-round asana for all people, really great for digestion, really great for opening up the back. You want to keep your toes pointing up, as you can see Esther's got, and you inhale, bringing your hands up over the head. So be sure that you're sitting comfortably on your sitting bones, and exhale coming down. Now, it doesn't matter how far you come down. It's important that you only come down according to what your body can stretch. The extreme form of this posture is to have your knees and your nose touching. But as you can see here, Esther's got a 45-degree drop of the back towards her knees. And some people even can only go 10 degrees. So it's about finding what you're comfortable with so that tomorrow you are fine as well. Inhale coming up. And exhale coming down. Great, Aditya and Raghav. It's lovely to see people taking participating. Inhale coming up. And exhale coming down. And what you can also do here is bring your hands round the top of the toes so they're wrapped around the back of the foot. Not taking hold of the toes, wrapped around the back of the foot, the ball of the foot. And so this is also very beneficial for stretching out the hamstrings at the back of your legs, which is also connected with our digestive system in what's called the nadis. It's also, you may have heard of them in the Chinese medicine as well, used in acupuncture and acupressure. And inhale coming up. In yoga, what we want to do is to counterbalance forward bends with backward bends. So what we're going to do now is we're going to come onto our stomach, and we're going to do that Bhujangasana, the cobra pose, which is very good for people with back issues. Now, if you have something like a slip disc or something, please take medical advice before doing this posture. You want to keep the feet together, and you have your nose down on the ground is the starting position. So keeping those heels together. Now you only want to raise your head and chest as far as keeping those heels together, dropping the head back a little bit and keeping those heels together. So this is opening out the lungs, allowing you to get a deep breath in. You can also see the stretching out of the neck, also having an effect on the thyroid as well. You've got the pressure on the lower part of the spine through keeping those heels together. And this can help like unravel all that tightness that is very natural to get in the spine from sitting and from worrying and from work in general. Exhale, coming down. Relax as you come down. And notice in yoga that the breath is connected to extending and contracting the body. So when we come up, we inhale up as we open out our chest. Inhaling, coming up. Holding the position. Taking care to breathe through the nose. And then exhale as we come down. We're just giving some very straightforward asanas here that are suitable for any age group, whether you're 85, 90, or 5 years old. Inhaling, coming up for the last time. Allowing your chest to really open out. And as we contract the body, as we bring the body down, we exhale, taking us back to our normal position. Now we can try Dhanurasana, which is bow pose, taking hold of our ankles. And just lifting our knees up as far as is comfortable, lifting our head up. And you can see that bow, that archer's bow. And if this asana is very easy, you can also rock in this posture, exhaling as you go forward and inhaling as you're coming up. This gives a real and deep massage to all of those inner organs that are exposed by lifting and opening up the rib cage. Obviously, you can see also this has an effect on our lungs because we're again stretching out the lungs. And I don't know if you know, but we've got also channels going all the way down our arms, down to our thumb that are connected with the lungs and also the small and large intestines. And now we can relax. Relax coming down. It's a bit of a super fast yoga session today, but I hope that you find it useful. And now we can go on to our backs. And we're going to do Makarasana. Makarasana means crocodile pose. So you may have seen that crocodiles in the water, when they swish their tail one direction and twist their head the other. And so they thrash around in the water. So we recreate that thrashing in a super slow motion by opening our hands wide so that we have a straight line across our shoulders to our hands. We start with our knees up in the middle with our feet near our buttocks. And now we, with our heels firmly on the ground, we're fully relaxed, very comfortable. And now as we exhale, we're going to drop our knees to the left and we're going to turn our head to look at our right hand. Really giving a fantastic release on our back. It's not just affecting our back, it's having a great effect on all of the channels in our legs as well. We've got kidney channels, liver channels, intestine channels that are opened and stretched through this Makar Asanam. Inhaling, coming to the center. And exhaling to the right. And looking to the left. Feel free to join us with your camera on or off in the practices. We've just got a couple minutes more of asanas, then we're going to do a little bit of pranayama, and then we're going to do a little bit of meditation before we close. Inhale, coming to the center. And exhale again with the knees to the left and eyes to the right. So you're getting a full twist on that spine, opening out the neck, opening out the shoulders, opening out the lower spine. And welcome to all of those who are joining at the moment. And inhaling, coming to the center. We've just been introducing a very easy practice suitable for all age groups from 5 to like 90. And exhale the knees to the right, looking at the left. Inhale to the center. And exhale to the left for the last time, looking to the right. Inhale to the center. And now we're going to relax for just a few moments in Shavasana. And in Shavasana, I'd like you to close your eyes and visualize yourself being surrounded by infinite divine consciousness, divine energy. And allow yourself to just float in this energy of light, to dissolve yourself in that. Allow the light to pervade your entire being. As you inhale, bring in light washing through you. Removing, when you exhale, removing any pain or any worries that you might be experiencing. Allowing your breath to be gentle and full, fully inflating your diaphragm and exhaling, completely emptying the lungs, but without force, very gently. And you can roll onto your side now, coming up to the sitting position. And we'll just do a couple of rounds of pranayama just to introduce you, for those of you who are not familiar with it, a technique. There are lots of different techniques in pranayama, but the important thing is that when teaching, we focus on the holding out the exhaled breath, because if you hold in an inhaled breath and you have some unknown health condition within you that can exacerbate it, it could increase that health issue in you. So please take care to hold out the breath rather than holding in the breath. And we're just going to do Anoma Viloma. Anoma Viloma, you can understand as alternate nostril breathing. It means that we breathe in the right, exhale out the left, hold out the breath, and we'll show you how to do that in a moment, but I'm just going to build it up layer by layer. Inhale through the left, exhale out to the right, holding out the breath. Inhaling through the right and exhaling out of the left. So what that means is where you inhaled out of is where you're next going to inhale from. Where you inhaled out of is where you're going to next inhale from. So we're then going to introduce the hands for this. So for the hands, we have our left hand is going to be in Gyan Mudra. A mudra is a special permutation of the hands and fingers that works on the inner channels within us. And Gyan Mudra looks like this. You can see my thumb. The thumb represents the intellect. The first finger represents the ego. Like when we're scolding someone or we're seeing someone being scolded, we often unconsciously pull out this finger and you do this, you do that, or whatever it may be. So we want to bring that ego, those negative qualities, under the control of our intellect. So we bring the thumb on top of the finger and we make sure that it's like this on the back of the hand. So the thumb is always at the top. That's the left hand. Now the right hand is going to be involved with the action of the pranayama. And we have this apan mudra. For anyone who's ever used prayer beads, malas, you'll notice that this is the mudra that we do mantras with on japa. It's also the mudra since ancient times used to eat food in India. You might be familiar with, even in Chinese medicine, the little finger and the forefinger are the small intestine and the large intestine. So we don't want to have these in contact with the practice of pranayama, bringing us the inner peace, because we're trying to clean out and balance our mind rather than putting the processed digested foods back through our system. So we hold our nose like this. So you have the thumb on the right nostril and the two fingers are closing the left nostril. Now, I'm going to give you clear instructions so you can close your eyes. Feel free to keep your screen on or off as you're most comfortable. And you want to close your mouth and you're going to inhale through the left nostril and exhale through the right. And now close both sides, holding out the breath. Focus between the eyebrows and inhale through the right. And exhale through the left. Inhale through the left. And exhale through the right. Inhale through the right. And exhale through the left. This is Anoma Viloma Pranayama, and we'll be having more in-depth pranayama on the 28th morning at 8 a.m. CET, Central European Time, and Indian time that will be 12:30. So, and do join us for pranayam then. We're just going to do 2 minutes of chanting Om as a meditation. So if you'd like to be sitting comfortably, you can have your hands in Gyan Mudra on your knees with the thumb on top and the forefinger underneath. And if you'd like to keep your eyes closed, we'll chant Om 3 times together. The first from the base of our spine, the Muladhara chakra, to the middle of the chest, the Anahat. The second from the Anahat to the Agya chakra between our eyebrows. And the third from between the eyebrows to the top of our heads, the Brahma chakra. Oh. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vishishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om. I hope that you enjoyed this very gentle and easy introduction to yoga, something for all people of all ages, in all places, irrespective of your prior practice. The aim is always to go into deeper peace in meditation. And for those of you who are really interested in meditation, our closing ceremony on the 28th will be a meditation for peace. So I hope that you'll join us there. We also have another pranayama session tomorrow at this time, 5:30 IST and 1 p.m. Central European time. We've still got 2 more sessions to go today. I really hope that you'll be joining us for those. We have an amazing teacher, Joe Manuel, joining us at 10:30 Indian time, 6 p.m. Central European time for managing anxiety. She's been teaching for the last 40 years, and she's been, you can say, revolutionary in terms of bringing yoga to help special needs children and adults as well. So she has a lot of great experience to share with us all. And that will be followed by Nina Rao, who does chanting with Krishna Das ji of the Ramdas and Neem Karoli Baba tradition. So I hope that you'll join us for the further sessions that we have today. And we have tomorrow more sessions, Art of Joyfulness, pranayama, and an amazing practice session with Andrew Seeley. And again, sessions on Friday, which we'll tell you on the following day, that we'll tell you more about tomorrow. Thank you so much to the Dais and also our partners, Yogis Without Borders. Diana Gladka will be taking this session tomorrow for pranayama, for those of you who'd like to know a little bit more about that.
Thank you, Mataji. First and foremost, I'd like to thank you, Divya ji and Esther ji, for such an enlightening session. I think I speak for everyone when I say that this session was enriching and unique at its best. I'd also like to thank our partners for this festival, Yogis Without Borders and the Yoga Mission, both of them without whom none of this would have been possible. Last but never the least, I thank the Dais and the Learning Planet Festival team for the constant support throughout this event. On behalf of all of us at the Dais, I thank you all for your enthusiastic participation today. Thank you and have a good day.